Today we're going to be talking about crazy red flags that women notice in men.
Women share their craziest red flags about guys.
Women share their red flags about guys.
Women share their crazy red flags about guys. Women share their most bizarre red flags about the male. Girls share really weird red flags about mammalian males.
Mammalian males? I really hated that. Welcome to the show. My name's Nick.
And I'm Corey. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to watch the full uncut and uncensored version of this podcast, early access, you can go to our Patreon link down below.
And if you want to watch this or listen to it without
Our
us,
beautiful faces.
so not watch it, then check it out on Spotify, Amazon, Apple.
All those things are linked down below.
Yeah.
And if you guys like our commentary on stupid stuff, you're going to like our commentary on movies, which are also sometimes stupid, but sometimes not. That's on our
Check out
YouTube
our
channel,
channel,
Nick and Corey, link down below.
All right. When I worked at KFC, there was a girl whose boyfriend would stay parked outside the door during the entire shift. That is not something I've seen commonly, and it's a huge red flag.
A girl's boyfriend would stay parked outside KFC the
He'd be
entire
there
shift.
her entire shift.
Was that 8 hours?
What the is he doing with his life?
He's like, I'm getting my points at KFC.
I got to make sure that the guys that come to KFC and buy their crispy chicken buckets don't take my girl home with them.
That is weird. What is the implication? Be like, girl, if I'm not talking to you right now, you're cheating on me, even though you're working a job, and these guys come through the drive-thru like, can I get a bucket of 6 chicken wings? And
you gave him a 7th chicken wing? That means you want to sleep with him. I'm telling on you.
Yeah.
That's some insecure dude.
God damn.
That is a big red flag. When every single ex they have was crazy.
I've heard this before. I hear people be like, if you say all your exes are crazy, it means you're the crazy one. What if you have 2 exes and they both legitimately, by unanimous vote of your friends and family, say they are crazy?
It's just unlikely. It goes into the same thing.
I think there's a number system here. If you have 1 ex, let's say you're 16, you have 1 ex, and actually they are crazy.
That means you're crazy.
Objectively. And someone's like, hey, you have exes, are they crazy? And you're like, technically, yeah, all my exes are crazy. They're like, oh, you're a toxic guy.
I think this falls into the same thing as like if you say everyone around you an asshole,
yeah,
you're probably the asshole.
I think it's a numbers game.
Yeah, if you have 4 exes and they're all crazy, you're probably the crazy asshole that made them that way.
I think it's a pattern. Patterns usually come in 3s or more. So if you have 2 exes and they're all crazy,
unlucky.
There's an unlucky chance.
The coin flips are unlucky.
Yeah, if you have 3+ exes and they're all crazy, I think that it might have to do with you. There's a pattern in there. But yeah, no one wants to hear that too. It's also like if you talk about your exes badly, like that's just bad luck.
It is. Yeah.
If you have to say,
move
like,
on.
If you tell someone in your life, yeah, all my exes are crazy. If you say that unprompted, that's a red flag by itself. Like, why would you talk negatively about your exes without them saying? Like, if your friend comes to you and is like, hey, remember your crazy ex? Like, oh yeah, that was a time. At least you're not the one saying it.
They're just bringing it up for you.
Like you're agreeing.
That's a move. Hey, dude, remember your terrible girlfriend that ruined your life?
Well,
let's just talk about it.
Especially if you do it in front of like a partner. Like if I went up to you and your partner and was like, hey, remember your crazy ex? Yeah. Do you remember all those things you used to do with her? Whoa, that was crazy. You'd be like, that's a weird thing.
She'd probably laugh about it?
Yeah, it'd be like a weird thing to bring up.
Yeah, that would be bizarre.
But yeah, if you unprompted bring up your crazy exes, yeah, you are a red flag.
What was I thinking about?
Your crazy ex?
I don't have a crazy ex.
You're the crazy ex.
I was crazy after my first relationship breakup.
Yes, you were. I don't know if this is a story we want to tell right now.
I needed to be put down.
You did. You needed. Honestly, if I had a tranquilizer dart that day, that would have been a great thing to have.
That's valid, you know? I would have taken a tranquilizer dart. In hindsight,
I could have used a tranquilizer dart, a net.
We grow and evolve as people.
Yeah.
I don't think I was like crazy in a negative way. I was just
you were a danger
emotions.
to society.
No, I was not.
Yeah. You were that episode of SpongeBob where they're calling out being like, there's a crazy guy on the loose. He's right behind you. And that was you.
I was the hashtag slasher?
No, it was when SpongeBob was the crazy guy.
I don't think.
You were a crazy man on the loose.
I wasn't dangerous though.
You were a danger to children and animals.
No, I was only a danger to myself.
And
children and animals, I would never touch a child or animal.
You threw a sandal into the dark distance.
Who cares? It's a sandal.
Probably hit a squirrel.
He's fine. He shouldn't have been in that tree anyway.
You ran into a fence head first, did damage to property.
More damage to myself.
Tried to do damage to a sewer grate.
Impossible. Couldn't even lift it.
No. Those are heavy.
Yeah.
We learned that day.
All right. weaponized incompetence, making no attempt at doing anything effectively in the hopes that they won't be asked to do it again. If you can't put in effort, neither can I.
I hate weaponized incompetence.
I think people that like just pretend like they don't know how to do anything. I mean, and as someone who did this when I was 8 years old with my mom, like she'd be like, "Hey, can you like clean this up?" And I'd be like, "I don't know how," and she'd just be like, "What?" But as an adult, if you're using weaponized incompetence as an adult, you're a piece of shit.
I can at least respect more someone being like, I don't wanna, than saying, like, I don't know how. Like if I said to someone like, hey, you should clean up your room or like clean up the kitchen or something like that, and they're like, I just don't want to do it, I'd be like, I respect your honesty. I still hate you, but I respect the honesty of it. But if you're like, I don't know how, where does everything go?
You're fucking stupid.
I hear that filter, by the way, in my head. If someone says I don't know how, I hear them be like, I'm big baby, I don't know how. Where do plates and bowls go?
Does that make you hate them more?
Oh yeah.
If you ask someone to do something like just blatantly
super simple. Hey, can you put dirty dishes in the dishwasher? But where do they go? How?
See, that you talking that way and me thinking about that situation inherently makes me want to slap you.
Because that's the
I've
feeling.
never slapped someone. I've always really wanted to. Like, I could never.
You're usually on the receiving end of it.
I have slapped my pickleball partner. But
you have a pact.
Yeah. We have a pact, so we're good. Ben and I are good.
But if you say you don't know how to do something that is just the most simple things in life, especially in the information age, like get some help. I hate that too.
The information age of learning how to sweep.
There's basic human things of like, let's say in college, I'm like, oh, I've never used a laundromat machine before. Like I've used the laundry at home.
Laundromat machine?
Like I've never gone to a laundromat.
Oh, laundromat.
Yeah.
I thought you literally said
laundromat,
like a laundry
space
mat.
machine. No, but like when I went to a dorm, I've never used like the public
so you had
washers.
To figure it out.
Yeah.
But you're not fucking brain dead, so you figured it out.
I asked someone first, but I also looked it up. I was like, how do I use this particular machine? Because the one at home is not the same. We had a little bit more going on than that. But like I didn't know how it worked at first, so I had to figure it out. But I'm not going to I don't know how. I'm not going to do my laundry. I'm going to wait till I go home.
I won't lie though. I haven't not done it for this reason, but I have asked the main women in my life, being my mom and girlfriends at the time, several times, repeatedly probably, what settings I should wash what on, just because
that's fine.
They have a good sense for it.
Here's the big
Women
difference.
Are just good at cleaning things.
Okay, well, here's the main difference here.
That was bait.
Let's ignore that one.
Rage bait.
Not touching that. There's a difference between you going out of your way to ask someone for help versus them coming to you saying, can you do this thing? And you're like, I don't know how.
Yes.
Like you waited for them.
But like, dude, Julia would get really mad. Because I'd ask her probably every time how I should wash the sheets.
Well, okay, if you ask every time, it's like you could have figured it out by the time
She's
one.
like, dude, can you just do it the same way I've told you the last 10 times?
Put a sticky note on your washing machine. Be like, sheets hot, heavy load.
You've activated my trap card.
Yeah,
Let's go on.
Nick's command words like a genie. What wish would you like today?
When they cannot discuss sexual health like an adult. If you're having sex, you need to discuss birth control, condoms, and STDs. I'm literally imagining someone like...
They wouldn't do that?
How could you not discuss like, hey, you should put your peen in a condom so we don't make a devil spawn.
It is weird. Like once you're past the age of like 15 to 17 where like sex is funny because it's still taboo. Yeah. It's like you're an adult. Why are you afraid to talk about this thing that we are currently doing? I've had partners in the past where it's like, I say, hey, like, what are you into? What do you like? Like, let's figure out what's fun. And they're like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm shy. I'm like, bitch, you are naked. You are currently in the thing. We're trying to communicate here.
What do you mean you're shy? When he keeps talking about his ex and how he'll never love someone else this much.
Ew.
That's bad. I've personally heard this from like friends I've had where they're in a relationship with someone who constantly compares them to an ex and says that they'll never amount to the person.
That's fucking
how they're not
gross.
as attractive, how they'll never be loved as much. How do you stay with someone who belittles you in a comparison between a person they used to be with and you now? Like how do you deal with that?
Nasty. It's you got to condition that person to have zero self-worth to want to stay. How do you even get that person in the first place? How do you get somebody to love you enough to stay if your mind is like, oh, no one's as good as my ex? Like, what is the first date like with that situation?
Hey, so what do you want to order? I think you should potentially order the chicken Caesar salad because that's what my ex would get. And
hey,
she
here's a
loved that.
gift. It's an outfit for you. No reason in particular. By the way, would you like to dye your hair? You know, like a reddish, brownish, blackish color, whatever fits your mood that day.
Reddish, brownish, blackish?
Whatever my ex was, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
By the way, here's some contact lenses for your eyes.
Hey, have you considered changing your name? You know, I know your name's Kim right now, but you should consider Jessica because that's my ex's name and I love her deeply and I still do.
Yeah.
I love her more than I'll ever love you.
By the way, would you like to call your new parents? I have them on speed dial.
Oh, yeah. Can you stand on this ritual circle and hold this lock of hair
this
blood drop?
We moved from trying to replace your ex and turn them into
To a
a
demon
ritual
ritual?
sacrifice to bring. Are they dead?
Why do you have a goat?
Is your ex dead in this scenario? My ex is actually Satan. I'm trying to spawn them.
King Paimon.
We need your blood.
All right. This is a longer one.
Oh, boy.
I'd been talking to a guy on a dating app for a couple of weeks, even FaceTimes with him. I'm guessing they were trying to say FaceTime.
We get it.
Went for a first date in a pub for a meal. Got there, he was already there. He came over to me, chatted for a couple minutes at the bar. He mentioned he was already seated at the table with his mother.
What?
Like that red flag could have been seen in several alternative dimensions. She was all excited to be there, even canceled some other evening out
I'm sure
meant
she
to be going
was.
on to come on this date. This gets much worse. Also stated that when the son couldn't be bothered to message me, she had replied.
Ew!
It still gets worse. I calmly finished my drink, looked him square in the eye, directed him to a local maternity unit, and told him to ask the midwives to cut the umbilical cord this time and left.
That was
Just
witty.
so you know, I was in my early 50s, and he was in his late 50s.
Ew!
So not kids.
Oh, well, okay. The only thing I could think of is like maybe she needs like care. Because like if he's in his 50s, like his mom's probably
No,
like
she's
70.
excited to be there. Dude, she was texting for him.
I'm sure a
The-
7-year-old
the
mom is
last
excited
line
to do
is-
something out of the house.
That was the biggest red flag I've ever seen. Blocked him and technically her on everything immediately.
That is incredible mama's boy behavior, and it's very red flag.
But, dude, he's 50?
The only silver lining I can think of this is the fact that he's so old. His mom is like in geriatric care and like just needs to get out of the house.
And you bring her on a first date?
I agree. That's weird.
That's horrific.
I agree. It's weird. I'm trying to find an optimistic silver lining.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's a train. Get out of the way. It's going to hit you and kill you.
I mean, it could be one of these things.
Dude,
of like,
this red flag is a monument on Mars for
If
the
you-
first man to be on there.
if you take care of your aging mother and she lives with you and stuff, at what point do you tell a prospective partner? Maybe he just wanted to get out of the way.
Legitimately not on the first date. I can't think of a worse time to present that than the first date.
It is a bad time. I don't know.
Finding out that the person
What if she's
I'm-
lovely?
I don't give a if she's lovely. If you were texting a girl and you found out that her mom was replying for her,
Oh, you know, that'd be weird.
I think it's actually less bad for a girl than it is for a guy. For a guy, it's extremely cringe.
There's definitely like some gender role swapping things, but like, yeah, if a mom is over involved in a guy's life, it's weird, but it feels more normal than a dad being over involved in his daughter's life.
No, dad being protective of daughter is usually more common.
Overprotective, but like that's more of like a wall.
But the parent texting on your behalf is insanity.
Here's the thing: the
Wait. This story's not real. How the can a 70-plus-year-old woman text?
Yeah, she probably text to speech. Here's the stereotype: is that overprotective moms will be involved in their son's life, like that, going on the
Helicopter?
date, talking to the partner, walking with them on
Do you
excursions.
think your
and
mom
stuff.
would want to come on a date with you?
Honestly, I think she would.
She's gonna watch this and call you
Good thing.
about
This
this.
is why I don't go on dates. But no, a stereotype for an overprotective dad is like they're removed. They're like, you will have no boyfriend. You will have no social life. You will not go out.
What if you? What if it was a double date, and you came with your, but it wasn't actually a double date? Like your parents aren't actually going on a date too.
If
but
this-
they're the person you're going on a first date with brought their parent too.
I think this is like what you said. Anything after first dates or like once you're established, these things are fine. There was someone that commented on one of our last videos because we were talking about it's weird. This situation pretty much. If you go on a first date, meet with someone and they show up with their friends,
Yeah.
that's really weird.
Yeah.
However, they were saying it was a first date. They were set up through a friend, and the friend that set them up was there on the date as well, but with their partner. So it was a
double date.
Yeah, it was a blind double date.
doesn't sound
That,
horrible.
that doesn't sound bad to me. I think that's completely fine. Because
Yeah.
like if they set you up, like that's a safe mutual
and they're
date
trying to see how
environment.
successful their estimate was.
I honestly think that's pretty fine to go on a double date for a first date. However, if it is not a double date, it's like a friend group thing,
throuple.
or it's like even if you want to call it a double date with your parents, which I don't think is horrible. Like make it like a fifth date type thing. Like once you know each other, like if you are with your partner and they're like, hey, would you like to meet my parents? Let's go out for lunch. Technically, it's like a double date. It's not,
I wouldn't mind.
It's not weird. It's just like
I wouldn't do it on a 5th date.
It's too early is weird.
Yeah. First date, bozo.
And then the mom texting for the son is just like that crosses a line that I think needs to be surgically removed. Just abort whatever that relationship
Delete
is.
all line.
Yeah.
All right. After the first night, they say we will be together forever.
Yeah.
Big red flag.
Yeah.
That scares the out of me, dude.
Is this like post sex, like whispering in the ear, hey baby, that was so good. We will be together forever.
Demon growls.
You like that nut? There's a lot more where that came from, by the way. No one's ever gonna nut in you again besides me, because we're gonna be together forever.
You know, there's definitely a certain times where that would be said that makes it so much worse than others. So like, let's say you say it on a first date, like you're still out at the bar. That's weird. Say it after sex, like you guys have been cuddling for a bit. I think it's slightly less weird than on a first date, but like still weird.
Yeah.
Say it while nutting. Probably the weirdest.
Can you process that while nutting?
While nutting, it's like, oh, I'm about to go.
We will be together forever.
Okay, Patrick. Patrick nuts and then goes, we're gonna be together forever.
That's weird, man.
SpongeBob. Oh, the one where they say, I'm not like other men, and proceed to be worse than any man I've ever met.
You know, I've never heard that. I've always heard that I'm not like other girls. I've never heard I'm not like other men.
And then they're f***ing horrible?
I'm not like other guys. I wear jeans and I abuse women.
Yeah, you are, bud. Would you be impressed if a girl told you I'm not like other girls, and then she was the worst girl ever?
I mean, all girls are the same.
We're hitting you guys with some rage bait today. All girls are the same.
I think that every person is both the same and different. Like, yeah, you're not like other women. You're not like
what
other
a
guys.
Fucking non-statement.
Well, because everybody is similar in their shittiness and then dissimilar in the things that are good, sort of. I don't know. Everyone's kind of like an amalgamation of things that I've seen before.
I think you saying you're not normal doesn't really like mean anything. Okay, I do call myself weird, and I think I qualify as being weird.
It depends on what your I'm not like other guys is. If it's like I'm not like other guys, I treat women with respect. I mean, a lot of guys do that. But it's like, are you not like other guys? I bark at the moon and
turn into a wolf.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, every first Tuesday.
And I eat the flesh of infants sometimes. Sorry. I don't know if I want not like other guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you like. Does a person think they're doing themselves a favor by saying that?
It's a very cringe, like I'm 13 and very smart kind of line to say like, I'm not like other guys. I'm not like other girls.
I'm evolved.
Yeah, it's like
I'm special.
Everybody on the planet is equally good and at the same time. You think that you're not like other people by saying that you're better than them. Tells me that you think you're better than them, which actually is a bad trait. So you are the same as them. It's very paradoxical, that is.
Yeah, it's not as insightful as you think it is, Mr. 13-year-old. Claiming they're an alpha male.
Ew.
Dude, anyone who's ever... I have a really funny story about an alpha male.
Oh, God. It's so cringe to hear someone say that out loud.
Atrocious. I actually got trapped into that once. I was seeing a girl, and she introduced me to her friends, and they asked me, so Nick, are you an alpha? And I'm like... There's no way to answer this. I was like, this is a cringe question.
That has to be a question that they're saying like
it's bait.
To like goad you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a real thing. If I was like messing with someone that was a little douchey, I'd be like, so are you an alpha? I'd want to hear them be like, dude, yeah, I'm an alpha male. I get respect from everyone around me because they can smell my pheromones.
Okay. Are you a animal?
That's what
I
they
pissed
think.
on that tree to mark my territory.
I stare men down and they submit and show their belly.
With a I don't hunt with a pack. I hunt alone because I'm the alpha male.
It's just so cringe.
Okay, so I have a real story about this. So I, when I was managing the pickleball facility that I coached at,
yeah,
there was this guy there, right? We call him Sweaty Meat Man. He has a
sweaty meat
barbecue company, so it's fitting.
Right? It's a double entendre.
Okay, so this guy.
Tell me about Sweaty Meat Man.
This memory hurts. So he's coming over talking to me, right? And I'm in a place where I was keeping track of a bunch of leagues and I'm forced to be where I am, right? Like
You're working a job in retail customer service.
Essentially, yeah. I'm monitoring like everyone playing and trying to keep track of everything. And he comes over to me, so I'm like sitting there, and I have to be enlightened by his conversation. Unfortunately, his light wasn't too bright. Nice one.
Thank you.
So this fella comes up to me, and there's this like pretty like middle-aged blonde woman playing with her husband or something, right?
Okay.
And he points at her and he's like, my cousin f***ed her in high school. And I was like, okay, thank you for sharing.
How long ago was that? Like 40 years ago?
This guy's 40, so it's probably like 20 plus years ago, right?
Weird memory to hold on to.
And I'm like, that's cool, dude. Thanks for sharing.
People have lives before, you see them today. Yes.
And he was like, that dude with her must have a lot of money to claim a piece of ass like that.
Claim?
He essentially said something like that, right?
Ew.
He essentially said something about him like having her because he has money. And I was like, okay. And I'm being held in this conversation against my will at this point. And this guy goes, sorry, dude. He's like, I just felt like I needed to say this because like I'm an alpha male. And then he goes,
Ew.
He roared, bro.
Ew.
I was sitting there like, Nick, contain yourself. You're in a professional environment. You need to be.
Are you not allowed to laugh at people in a professional environment?
I did it.
That would
I
get.
I felt like one of those girls working at retail where the guy's like, hey, when you get off, I'm gonna take you home, and you're just like, thank you. Can you please leave? Please leave.
There's an involuntary reflex, like when you get hit in the knee at the doctor's office and your leg twitches.
Yeah, this involuntary reflex was.
If someone said, sorry, I can't help it, I'm an alpha, I think I would spit take.
Dude, the way
involuntarily.
he didn't even roar. He growled. He went.
I'd have to go. It would come out on its own.
I was just sitting there. I was like, there's no way this just happened. I was like, okay, dude.
You know what? I have a suspicious theory that some older people in the generation above ours do some weird things. And I think it's because of all the lead paint that was in their environment.
This guy must have eaten lead paint for a living.
Sometimes old people just say some weird ass shit. And I can't tell if it's when I get older, I'll just say some stuff to people, but my level of sarcasm will be so high it'll go over their head.
Or you just don't give a shit.
Or it's because I've been poisoned by my environment and I can't tell that I'm being weird. I don't know which will happen.
Paint will cause you to claim that you're an alpha male and growl?
I could see the correlation, yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you'd have to like purposefully eat lead paint. That's not traces. That's large amounts.
They may have eaten it. They may have eaten some horrible.
Fucking horrible. If his last girlfriend tries to earnestly warn you, she may actually be warning you.
Okay, I could see this going either way. It's like you have to trust that the girlfriend has no other motive besides trying to be like a gal pal. But like if an ex of a guy that you're talking to comes over or messages you saying, hey, by the way, just want to let you know this guy's a piece of shit. You have a unknown entity telling you he's a piece of shit. And then the unknown entity of the guy being like, no, I'm not. Who do you trust?
The way I assess people usually, if one person shares something about another person, honestly, usually even if it's a close friend, if a close friend is warning me about someone, I'll usually like hold back because I hold a close friend's judgment pretty highly. But like if someone tells me something is like good or bad, as an individual opinion, I usually don't give it that much weight. But now if multiple people tell me that it's something is good or bad, I'm now gonna have the social proof to address that thing. So
there is that.
If multiple people warn you someone is like f***ed up, I'm gonna assume that they're up.
I try to like be as logical as I can with certain things, and my first thought is when someone tells me something about someone else is, what is your motivation? If you are an ex of a person and you tell me that the person that is your ex is a piece of shit, my first thought is, if I have no other information to go off of, how do I know that you're not just bitter and like
what
saying
if they're
some mean
with someone
shit?
else now and like you can tell that they're not really interested in their ex? Would you assume that they're trying to get the ex back?
If I have no idea who either of these people are, like if I don't know the ex, she's not a friend of mine, not a mutual friend, don't know anything about them, I only have to go off of that they've said by their own admission and they came to me that this person's a piece of shit.
You're seeing a girl and like her ex comes to, like messages you on Instagram or something. It's like, hey dude, I see that you're with
if they came with receipts
girl.
and timestamps and screenshots and
what if it was like a not arbitrary but like a surface level warning, like, hey, I just want you to know like she's pretty up. She's done some questionable shit.
I would keep an open mind. I'd probably tell them straight up, like the person I'm seeing, being like, hey, by the way, is this
you
your
would?
Yeah, I would be like, hey, this is your ex. Like, is this your ex? Like they sent me some shit. Like, can you tell me about this? Because regardless of if it's true or not, I'd want them to at least know, like, I'm getting contacted about some shit.
Okay.
Because like that's just, I guess, a normal thing to do. Like if, I don't know, if anybody like talked to you about your current partner, you'd be like, hey, by the way, like someone told me something about you today. Just like wanted to let you know that someone's spreading. Like I feel like even if it's a good or a bad thing, you'd tell them.
If it's someone I'm actively dating, like in a relationship with, then I would.
If someone came to you and said like, hey, you're dating this person, here's like screenshots of them being like a piece of shit.
What? Okay, would you have a different opinion versus if you were just like seeing them or if you were in a relationship with them?
No, my opinion of
My
opinion of it would be, I wouldn't inherently believe this person, but I would tell the person I'm seeing either way, not to
explain it or
not to accuse them, just to be like, hey, someone's spreading at you. Like, can you tell me about what this is or who this person is?
Okay.
But
just to get some context.
Yeah, well, it's also like I think it's a respect thing of like, let's say you like your partner even a little bit, wouldn't you want them to know that someone's like spreading them?
Yeah, I think it would depend on like what the circumstances
It's
are.
not an accusing thing.
I think if
I wouldn't bring it to them and be like, you're a piece of who is this person? Why are you being an asshole?
I think if I'm in a relationship with someone, I would much more likely
You'd
be
believe them.
protective of my significant other at that point versus if I'm seeing like because I've had this happen before where someone I was casually like not dating but like I guess we were hooking up or whatever the it was and there was an ex situation. I actually want to see if I 1 second.
No, I've had this happen too where someone I like just started seeing was
okay, this is fitting. I'll tell it then.
I had someone I was just starting to see, like went on one date or something like that. And I got a DM being like, hey, you know this person. Yeah, they spread herpes to a bunch of people. Just thought you should know.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to handle the situation. I told a bunch of friends just like to get I guess thoughts. I needed the coalition to tell me what to do. And I ended up telling the person, being like, hey, I got these screenshots. Can you tell me what this is about? By the way, like this is one time we've hung out. So I know nothing about this person. And they reasonably like freaked out. They're like, what the f***? They're spreading lies about me. And I didn't know where to go from there. So like I just kind of ignored it and hung out with them again. Things were okay. Got another DM.
From a different person or from the same person?
I think the same person. But like these DMs were like so specific that it started to make me like confused. And I told the person again. And after this happened like 2-3 times, they were like, I can't like talk to somebody who like believes these things about me. And I was like, I'm not trying to like accuse you of anything, but like I'm getting these very specific. I can see how that's
problematic from multiple angles.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm getting these specific things about you. I'm not accusing you, but I thought you should know. Also, like, can you just like reassure me in any way that like this isn't a thing? And what it came down to is we just like kind of stopped talking because like neither of us could like see where it would go, and they didn't like being accused, and I wasn't accusing them. I was just being like, someone is saying. What ended up happening was, and I didn't learn this until later. Instagram used to have a really feature. There were 2 features. One was gone way earlier. It used to have the people you're following activity log. Do you remember that?
Activity?
Yeah. So like on your current Instagram, if you hit like the heart button,
it'll show you who you followed and when.
No. Well, so that's what I was about to say. But what it currently does, it shows you your activity. So like who followed you recently, who liked your stuff, who commented on your stuff. What it used to have was a separate tab called following, which showed the activity of the people you're following.
Oh.
So like if, let's say, a person I'm following commented on another person's post, I would see that they did that.
Okay.
And also, yeah, it was really weird. It was like a weird stalkery thing that Instagram had. And it also had, if you go to someone's profile and you check their following, it would show you who they followed recently by like numerical order. So what this person did, they DM'd me with the information that I recently followed this person and their activity logs and told me all this specific about them. And it made me think
they were trying to undermine it.
Exactly. And they made me think this stuff like was true because they had like facts.
Was it all lies?
A lot of it was, yeah. And
so I was just crazy.
It was like crazy like debaucherous plans that I didn't know about at the time. All I did was inform this person. They thought it was weird. Behavior. And like I had to back away because it was just too much. It was like a scheme. I didn't like schemes. I didn't like being involved in it.
Now that we're dating, you have to tell all your male friends to F off.
Oh, that.
No, just no. Why? Because no. I have a really strong line against that.
Oh, yeah.
From both parties. I actually think it's a red flag if the person you're seeing has no friends.
Has no friends?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard this from multiple. I've never dated someone that had no friends.
I try to be like, give people the benefit of the doubt. Why do they have no friends? If they just moved to a new city, understandable.
Fair. But then they still have friends of like people they talk to, maybe not hang out with.
I guess, but it depends on what kind of person they are. If they're not like a super like online talky talk kind of person, they're more in person. They just moved for a new job. Like I can understand why they have no friends. Like when they say no friends, like do they actually have zero contact with any soul?
Like they don't hang out with anyone or talk to anyone else.
But that's what I'm saying. Hang out. Like if
that's pretty bad.
If they're
or
not
talk.
If they're not like an online talking kind of person, they're more of an in-face person, and they just moved away from all the people they know. Maybe it's post-college. They just moved to a new town, new job. All they have is their work people that they're not friends with yet. Like, I can understand. It's new. If it's like 3 years in, suspicious.
I think, okay, we're tribal people. We need support systems, like, as humans. If they have no friends and you're their only support system, you are going to be overwhelmed.
That's
by
usually
that
the reason why it's weird.
Like, it's a lot. And I think and I've seen this specifically happen. Like my first relationship, her and her like previous relationship before me ended up isolating one another from all of their friends.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes in relationships. I don't think you should ever let a relationship crush your friendships. Because then you'll be left with nothing.
I agree. I've gone back and forth on this idea. I used to think that a relationship should never be the most important like relationship in your life. I used to think it should be equal to the like your best friendships and family and stuff. I've kind of gone back and forth on if it should be like still number one priority, but I don't think it should ever supersede to the point of cutting off anyone.
Yeah, it should never undermine your total relationships with other people unless those relationships are somehow harmful.
Yeah, of course. If you have harmful don't have it in your life. But like I used to feel afraid of the idea of people who they get into a relationship and that relationship now supersedes everything, where it's like, hey, I want a date night 4 days a week.
Unhealthy.
And it's like you now have to cut off your friendships because relationship comes first.
I do think your significant other is realistically a closer relationship you have than with like even best friends. You can
as life goes on, I think that's true.
Because they end up spending the most time with you and they live with you usually, and then you build a family with them.
I think it depends on where you are in life. I don't know what the answer is, but I think that if you're in like your early 20s and you're not the kind of person who wants to start a family right away, like you're the kind of person who wants to start a family at like 30, so like you're early 21, whatever it is, I don't think your relationship needs to be number one priority all the time, cut off your friends, whatever.
It's still probably your closest friend, the one that you're dating.
It should be as equal to, if not slightly greater than best friend, but it should be like around the same as best friend. I agree with
you. As you get older, it probably weighs more.
Once you start a family and like your friends move away and their own priorities, your partner is going to be the number one person you spend your time with. So like it probably will be a priority. Yeah. But if it ever comes down to cut off your friends because I don't like them type deal, you need to evaluate.
That's crazy.
You need to evaluate if your friends genuinely are toxic, and if they're right, you should cut them off. Or if they're not bad in any way, they just dislike the fact that you have friends that are of the opposite gender or like whatever it is, the activity.
You can have a group of terrible friends. Like
you can. That's why you have to evaluate it.
Yeah.
But realistically, I would say like the majority of the time, if a partner says you should cut these people out of your life, they're doing it for jealousy reasons and isolation reasons.
I mean, I've met someone who like had to cut off a lot of their previous friends because they were horrible. They were horrible people. Like, and they realized that group was horrible as a whole.
Oh yeah.
So they just had to get rid of the whole group, and that's a lot, dude. That's really difficult to sever.
Good friends are hard to come by, and bad friends are hard to leave. But there's genuinely a chance that if you're in a group of friends, not all of them are terrible people, and if you have a partner that says cut them all out, like you should spend time with me only, that's kind of toxic. It's toxic and a little bit abusive.
Controlling.
It's a little bit abusive.
It's definitely abusive in that sense. All right, next one. Holocaust denier. Maybe this sounds flippant, but not having a reasonableness filter can put one on a truly insane slippery slope.
I don't know, man. I feel like certain things are so clear. Like, how do you deny? It's like people that deny the moon landing. It's like how do you deny something that's like there's evidence that
I think there's valid conspiracy theories, but denying something as big as the Holocaust,
you have to really go out of your way to like ignore information, to think that certain things that genuinely happened like didn't happen.
You have to have a real like big asshole perspective.
It's one thing to like theorize of like certain things that no one knows, like who assassinated JFK. Like we don't like know exactly who did it. I guess
exactly.
You can like make an argument of that, but if you're like, did we go to the moon? Yeah. There's like evidence.
Yeah.
Or like
some people still don't believe that though.
Did the Holocaust happen? Yeah. There's a
lot of evidence.
There's not only evidence, there's like multiple separate, completely like different cultural versions of this event happening.
Yeah.
There's Germans saying it happened, which is a pretty big sign.
Yeah.
There's the Jews that said it happened. There's Japanese that said it happened. There's Americans that said it happened. There's the UK.
Pretty much the whole.
Everybody has said it happened.
Like
it's a weird thing to think that the globe can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
So if they all agree that this one event happened, probably happened.
To me, that's a huge red flag. If someone just like blatantly ignores something that's like well known, not like for instance, could you ever imagine being with a genuine flat earther?
No, because
it would undermine everything else that the person says.
It would make me think they're really stupid.
Really stupid.
It's
like really fucking dumb and ignorant.
It's the kind of things that someone says and like they just don't think of how far it goes. But like I also think that about religion. So like I don't know. It's hard to believe. Like
my stance on religion has changed as I've gotten older. I actually think
it's okay to believe in something that you don't know if it's true or not to a point. But when you start taking that and throwing it into a lot of different aspects of life, it makes me think that you are the same kind of person as a flat earther.
I don't want to box the two together because I think religion has a lot of usefulness to it.
Again, I say to a certain extreme.
Yeah.
If you're the kind of person that says that like Jesus talks to you on a daily basis and he said to do this particular thing, and that like anybody who isn't of your religion is like an infidel or type.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's like you are making a whole mess of your life.
Yeah.
For what is essentially a conspiracy.
Yeah. If imaginary person talks to you and that's your level of belief.
And the thing is, the line isn't that fine, because people who are of whatever religion that person may be part of are like accepting of it because it's their religion. They're like, yeah, it's whatever. Like they believe in Jesus. But if you had someone who's like, I believe in flat earth, you're not going to get people to be like, what if they believe in flat earth? Let them believe it.
Yeah.
It's too far.
I think there's definitely degrees to which you can push something like religion to be like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
I'm of the belief that anything that you don't know, it is okay to say you don't know. You don't have to fill it in with something that
Here's
isn't
the issue,
true.
Though. Typically, the dumber you are, the more you think you know. And the smarter you are, the more you know you don't know.
Well, you can say that, but then there are people who are touted as very intelligent who are also like hyper conspiracy, like extremist religious.
That's going down an entirely new fucking bottle.
Let's
move on.
I think it is okay to say the words "I don't know." Period. End it. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe anything because there's a gap in your mind.
Yeah.
That's all.
Big red flag. Severed heads in the freezer.
I don't know if that's a red flag.
What color was that flag?
It's like beige. It's like you never know why.
Nuclear symbol flag.
It's like what? Maybe they're using them for something.
Imagine you're over at a girl's place. She lives alone, right? You guys are like making dinner or something, and you're going into the freezer to grab some ice for the wine, and you just see two heads, like really, really clear human heads, teenage heads.
Why teenage?
That's their choice of flavor.
I mean, is this like what would you do? Would you just run, like leave their apartment, not say a word, or would you like ask them about it? Like, why do you have heads?
I'd close it and be like, hey, I think I forgot something in the car.
What if it's Halloween?
Why the would you ask someone, hey, why are there severed heads in your freezer?
If you were talking to someone, let's say it's a third date, you go to their house, it's around Halloween time, make it extra suspicious. They have heads in their freezer. You genuinely cannot tell if they're like a prop or if it's real. Would you just run? You'd be like, there's heads in a freezer.
Out. Yeah, I am not confronting that because this is one of those things that's like you've now presented the fact that you have information that can harm this potentially shit insane person.
But you're assuming that they're real heads.
At this point, my only assumption is that I need to get the out and find out later. But that is such a big red flag. It is a boner of a red flag.
I think there's situations.
Corey, it's a boner in gray pants.
What if it's a fake head and you just can't tell? What if it's a really realistic head? And
would you stick around?
I would be curious. I'd be curious.
Dude, it is a boner in gray pants, and I see it, and I don't want it.
I would ask myself, what do I know about this person? Do they look like the kind of person who would murder? Do the heads look real? Is it around Halloween? Are they a visual effects artist for movies?
Shut the up.
Are they really into
Shut the up.
like gore type content online?
And this is why you're gonna get murdered on a date.
Are they a doctor and they just took home heads to dissect or some I don't know.
Maybe a mortician, but no, this. No,
I would have some questions.
You're full of it. All right, how about this red flag? Cheese.
This is a red flag. That's just not. That's just not something you should have.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
This is like if you go to kiss someone and their mouth smells like sardines and ass.
Is it a red flag if it's like a just genuinely like I don't know medical condition?
Yes, because you can clean cheese.
Maybe I'm thinking of it the wrong way.
Unless someone's like, would you rather grow
I think
cheese?
it's like so obviously bad that like get out. I don't know. Sometimes I think red flags are like these are like actions that they show you rather than like imagine like
these are things you could discover.
Imagine you went to a pool with someone and they took off their shirt and they have like a giant open wound in their chest. Is that a red flag or is it
yes,
like,
that's a red flag.
Like girl, you have SARS or something.
Dude, if you're on the like you're hooking up with a girl for the first time and pants come off and her vagine smells like
oh, I think it's gonna be like smooth. It's like a Barbie.
No, that's weird. But
is that a red flag?
That's a I don't know.
That's an empty flagpole.
That is an empty flagpole. This hole's not found. 404. That's what that is. And the vagine smells like the most like disgusting smell you've smelled in your entire life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about like your eyes water and you just reel. You just go. Woo.
Okay.
Is that not a red flag?
I think it's a red flag.
Dick cheese is an equivalent.
Okay. If it's like the red flag is that they don't bathe themselves properly, or they have a condition they are not taking care of it, and they assume that it's fine. Yeah, that's red flag.
Yeah, dude. Dude, if you took your pants off and you're with a girl and she sees that your pee-pee has a yellow crust growing on its head,
that's gross.
Yeah, that's
really
funky.
gross.
That's cheese, dude.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a red flag. Are you
That's
kidding me?
gross. I thought it was like, I don't know if is medical conditions red flag.
This is a good red flag. If they tell you they are gay and only like men, I would proceed with caution.
Is this a date? What is what? I have questions.
How does that work?
Is this a date? And like, hey, I really like you. By the way, I just thought you should know I'm gay. And this isn't gonna work in any kind of way. But I really want to see you again. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Let's be friends? Question mark.
Or is it a red flag on the poster because they assumed what was a date was actually a guy just trying to like really let them down in the most polite way possible, being like, "Hey, I really like you, guy from KFC. Would you like to
KFC?
Yeah, would you like to go on a date with me later?" And he's like, "I'm working, but ask me when I get off." And she's like, "Okay, I'll wait around for the next 8 hours until your shift's over."
This bucket of chicken is meant to be touched by the other side.
It's like, "Hey, would you like to eat some of that chicken that's left over?" And he's like, "I am hungry, I guess." And like now they're sitting down and the girl thinks it's a date. And then the guy's like, "Yeah, by the way, I'm gay." Like I there's no other way to say this. Like if you haven't been picking up what I've been putting down for the last however long this conversation's been going, this is not a thing.
Also, are you brain dead?
So it could go either way to me. Is it a red flag on the guy for saying he's gay? I don't know. How is that a red flag? In what situation would a guy go on a date with a girl, say he's gay, that's a red flag on him, but it's also a date?
I don't know if it's a red flag on him.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a red flag on
the poster. Think about this scenario.
That's not a red flag. That's not a beige flag. It's not
a flag. It's this do not cross. Road closed. This is.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what to call that.
Road closed. U-turn. Like, in what scenario?
I think this is.
In what scenario does a guy come to you, present the idea of a date, or agree with a date? You know it's a romantic gesture that you're about to do, or
you're
have
a girl.
have been doing.
And you're a girl.
And then after the fact, after you thought this was going somewhere, he says, "By the way, I'm gay." That's not a red flag.
I would ask, are you trying to experiment?
Yeah, I don't think that's a red flag.
I don't know. This is a good one. This is a Venn diagram situation.
Uh-oh.
If they're grossed out when you mention your period, or they play League of Legends.
Oh.
Do you think those go hand in hand?
Same circle.
You think it's the same circle?
If you play League of Legends and you get grossed out by a period, those are the same
I play
people.
League of Legends. I am not grossed out by a period. The Red River flows.
Are you? Are you a League of Legends player? Are you really?
Yeah. I mean, I probably have several thousand hours now. It's pretty horrible.
I wonder if this person has like multiple experiences with guys, like, and 3 of them play League of Legends and all 3 are like periods. Ew. She's like, all right, I tried. I thought it was like just a 1 and done or a 2 and done. Maybe I got unlucky, but 3, that's a pattern.
Dude,
all League of Legends players, all of them, they don't like periods.
Honestly, as someone that's played League of Legends and has like interacted with the specimens that play League of Legends, and like I'll play a game with someone and like they're good and we play a game together and they like keep asking like, "Hey, let's get on Discord. Let's get on Discord." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Okay, fine, let's get on Discord." And I get on Discord and I hear them talk for 5 minutes and I'm told everything I need to know, that like if I had a sister or daughter or friend girl, I would never, ever want her to date this person. Ever. I would rather hit them with a bat than have this person date a woman I know. Nor do I think they've ever been with, touched, talked to for longer than 10 seconds by force a woman. Ever.
You good?
Good now.
You said some League of Legends.
I have.
I feel like you have a decent separation between your League of Legends personality and your in-person personality.
I have not said remotely the some of these people say.
I don't think a lot of people have that sort of separation. I think yours is like an okay wall. It's made out of twigs and cement. It sometimes seeps out, but it's there. The wall's still holding.
I think I'm more wholesome.
A lot of people's walls are made out of plastic mesh, and they just can walk right through it.
They try to come
styrofoam
to that wall.
Not even. It's a gate. It's an open gate. And their entire personality is the person they are in League of Legends. I wouldn't, if I knew that, like, let's say I played League of Legends with somebody and I knew that was their personality in real life, hell no. Would never want to go near them.
Yeah.
I would hope that they have some decorum when they're not anonymous and like in person.
That's what I would pray for.
Yeah.
But the thing that I've thought about before is like, hey, like, are these people like normal around people they meet in person? And then I quickly remember.
100% no.
But it doesn't matter. They don't meet anyone in person.
No.
They have no one. Like, the people that do this like, if you are a person that is okay with spending 40 minutes of your time and throwing it away completely and like just making everyone miserable in the process, just sacrificing that time, you are definitely not a person that has anything going on. Like, at all. If you're willing to waste that much time at no one's pleasure, you're weird.
I would say my red flag starts
bad, probably.
My red flag starts creeping up on the amount of hours you play League. If you start playing League upwards of 20 hours a week, I think that it starts to be a red flag, not by nature of playing it that much, but by
who you become,
who I think you are, who plays League 20 hours plus a week.
It's a fun game. I've played MOBAs. MOBAs are games similar to League. Dota 2, Heroes of New Earth, Heroes of the Storm. A ton. Combined, I've probably played close to 10,000 hours of those games.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think
in a vacuum, I don't think any activity like this is inherently bad. Like, you're playing a video game. Like, by itself, it's not a bad thing. Even if you played it for 20 hours, if you have a job where you work 5 hours a week and make $100,000 a year, fucking spend your time the way you want. Yeah. I wouldn't complain. If I had to work like a 9 to 5 and my partner worked 5 hours a week, made way more money or as much money as me, and they spent their free time while I'm working playing a game, do what you want.
Honestly, facts.
But, big ol' hairy butt. The kind of person who plays League full time is a person.
Having been a person that's played League a lot in a day, I felt like a person.
Yeah.
I could feel myself becoming worse. I was like covered in toxins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Whatever the opposite of therapy is, that's playing League.
Yeah, this one I have a little small story that I saved for this one.
Okay.
If a guy tells you he's no good, listen.
That's sad.
Have
sad
you
flag.
Been with someone? Sad flag that has told you that they're not a good person?
In like a sad way or like a aggressive way?
Either.
Like a way, like, I'm not a good person. Or is it like I'm just like not a good person? Like, which way? Which way is it?
Either.
They're both bad for different reasons.
They are, but I don't think anyone says they're not a good person in an aggressive way.
I could see it. It hasn't happened to me.
I've had it once, and what do you know? It's a successful red flag that you should keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's probably.
I was in the middle of hooking up with this girl that I'd met through volleyball, and
right in the middle.
Like, that night we had a long, really good conversation by a fire pit, and then like we were making out or something, and she stops and she's like, "Hey, I'm not a good person," and I was just like, my brain went ding, ding, ding. This is bad. This is bad. This is like being in the woods and you see big ass eyes in the dark looking at you. It's your brain telling you instinctually, this is bad.
What was she thinking of?
I don't fucking know.
Did she leave the faucet running or something? Why in the middle of making out, by the way? Oh, I left the oven on. Oh, by the way, I'm not a good person.
Here's my hope, because I don't think she was that terrible. But here's my hope. She had maybe done some questionable things in the past that I was not aware of.
These are things that you don't need to say in the middle of a makeout. She
liked me, and before it proceeded further, wanted to warn me, hey, I could be bad for you. That's my plot armor, as I am the main character of my own story.
If you're this kind of person, keep it in your pants. Psychologically. Keep it in your head. Don't say it out loud. Just be a better person.
That's good advice.
Don't warn someone that you're a bad person.
Be a better person.
They're gonna look for things now that you're a bad person.
Evolve.
And they're not gonna be like, oh, well, you told me you're a bad person, so I will be okay with it when it happens. Thank you so much for warning me. No, just be a not human.
Fact. I really don't like people that accept a terrible trait they have and do nothing to change it. I think you're fucking insane. If you come to a friend and you're like, hey, you're a piece of like with this thing, and they're like, yeah. Hey, that's just the way I am.
No.
Like, what? You can't just pretend that that's okay.
That's the way you are alone now.
Yeah, f*** that.
Yeah,
like,
no more interaction for you. You're in timeout.
Bad timeout. Real life timeout.
Prison. If it's like something that you don't like doing and you know it makes you a bad person, like you become a bad person when you do this one thing and you cut out of your life. Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah,
like
I become really fucking angry in traffic, like unreasonably angry, and it shortens this fuse. So I try to avoid traffic at all costs.
Yeah. If your default personality is like, yeah, a blunt, honest person.
You're probably a cunt.
If you say that after saying like, hey, by the way, you look like today. Sorry, I'm just a blunt person. I tell it how it is. No, you're just mean.
You're just the
Yeah.
holes in the drywall. Run.
Yeah,
That's a
don't
fucking...
destroy your own fucking property. Why?
I used to rage and like go like monkey like when I would game as a kid. But as you grow older, you realize that's really stupid.
Things cost money.
That's one of the big reasons.
Things cost money.
Especially once you get a really expensive setup with a bunch of like your own keyboard.
Doesn't matter how
mice, all
expensive
that.
it is. It's an inconvenience to have to fix. You put holes in your wall, or you're
Yeah,
gonna
what
leave
are-
it there
yeah, what are you
until your
really
mommy
doing?
cleans it up. If you destroy your own, and you're like, yeah, I need to take out my aggression. Rawr, I'm an alpha male.
That would be the person that destroys their own shit. I actually saw this
fucking
same
weird.
person take his paddle and smash it onto the court and saw it crack. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't understand. It's the kind of person who's like, yeah, I need to show people that I'm tough so that they respect me. If I punch my wall, I get a little bit bruised on my knuckles. They'll see that and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this person.
Nope,
tough.
you're stupid and small because you're fighting inanimate objects.
I will think that you are not the brightest and also are down about $200. You're $200 poorer than you were before you broke your wall.
Being too nice and immediately putting you on a pedestal. You want...
Oh yeah, that's
and
gross.
the way this person says this after this is beautiful. I actually have never seen this analogy before, but this is fantastic. You want to be two boats meeting at the sea that decide to tie a rope together.
Wait, what? You want to be the two boats?
Yeah.
They said boths. I was like, all right.
The rope allows you to come together and drift apart. Immediate red flag when someone wants to ditch their boat for yours. They just want to board your ship like a pirate.
I've said this before, and I think it applies in a lot of different situations. If you're in a relationship, I think you should be equals. It should not be a power dynamic or difference in pedestal or whatever
You
in any
shouldn't
way.
own someone or lift someone up that's like... No, you should lift someone up. But don't, like,
Lifting someone up is different than you put yourself lower than them.
like you're carrying them. That's bad.
If in every way, financially, emotionally,
Sexually.
yeah, you should be equals. And like whatever that looks like in your relationship, as long as you're okay with it. But like, don't try to make their life your priority. Like, you guys should be equally like helping each other out.
Make sure to take care of yourself too.
I'd be weirded out if like I met somebody and too early they made my life like all about them. Like if I met someone and they were like, yeah, okay, so I want to cook for you now. All your meals I want to make for you. I'd be like, that's a nice gesture, but like, that's a lot. Like, why?
That is a lot.
Or like, hey, I'm gonna drive 3 hours to you, and then like I'm gonna leave after dinner. Like, you're gonna like make a 6-hour trip just to have dinner with me on a random day. Like that's a lot. Why?
Yeah, I would be suspicious that they're banking on me too much.
It would make
But
me
at the same
confused.
time, I really appreciate kind gestures.
There's kind gestures, but I think kindness has a limit. I think once you go above that limit, it becomes creepy.
Yeah,
How
it does
kind
become
it
weird.
is.
Yeah.
I can see it. I think it's one of these things of like, well, you're not doing anything wrong or harmful, but it comes across as it's too much too fast.
Yeah.
It's like love bombing. Like, love isn't a bad
Yeah.
thing, but if you love bomb someone, it's because you're doing too much all at once, and they're
Yeah.
like, chill. Like,
You're like overwhelming
like
them
give me
to,
a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of has done this in the past to a fault. Like, you learn how to like not do it.
Yeah, you ideally you keep evolving as a human and getting better at like not doing things that
Yeah.
could be seen.
Of all the red flags, as long as love bombing doesn't have the opposite end tied to it, where it's like you love bomb and then you abuse. If you never do the abusive part, all you do is like just put someone on a pedestal. It's the least bad of the red flags in my opinion, but it's still not a good
But
sign.
worship can be weird.
It's weird. Ideally, it doesn't transition into a dangerous like they possess you or like they will hurt you if
But
they're
I
not.
think wanting to take care of someone is fine.
I think wanting to build someone up is fine, so long as you allow them to also build you up equally.
Yeah.
And you have your own life that is yours separate.
And figure out what you want from someone else.
You should have your own life that your partner is a part of, not all of.
Yes. That's good. A part of, not all of.
If you sacrifice everything that you're doing in life just to make them happy, where it's like you gave up on your friends because you want to be with their friends, or you like move closer to their job even though you left like a great opportunity behind.
Yeah.
You left all your family because you want to be closer to their family.
There's some sacrifice that
If it's tit for tat, if it's equal,
It might
but
not
if it's
be-
all
That's not
for
perfect.
them, that's a lot.
life's not perfect like that. It's not always equal.
If it's
All right, last
close,
one.
try.
Last one. Saying I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet is like saying I have a huge The more you say it, the less likely it is to be true.
Yeah, don't blow up your own gas. Don't fart in your own mouth. Don't do that.
Don't fart in your own mouth?
Well, if you stick your head up your ass, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't fart in your own mouth.
Yeah. You're probably not the superlative you think you are.
You don't have to say, I'm the nice guy.
Prove it.
If you are
Show
nice,
that you're a fucking nice person.
If you're nice, people will say you're nice. If you got a big people will say it. You don't have to say it.
True.
Yeah.
Truer words have never been spoken.
I like the line that Tywin says about Joffrey in Game of Thrones. No true king says, I am the king. People will say it for you.
Yeah.
If you have to say it, then it must not be that important.
Yeah.
Let people compliment your... This is a bit like a generalization.
Yeah.
If you can never talk yourself up and let others do it for you, that's a great sign.
Oh, yeah.
If you compliment others and then they reciprocate by complimenting you back, you have a great relationship. Think about that. Instead of next time saying, I'm a nice guy or I have a big start complimenting the other person.
You have a cavernous vagina?
Yeah, that's a great compliment. People will love hearing that.
You have a moist pocket?
If you want to hear that you have a big and you need to say it yourself, try not saying it and let your partner say it for you.
Find a really small... Actually, don't.
Comment them instead and they will comment you back. That's just how nice works. Don't talk yourself up. No one likes hearing it.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want to see the full uncut and uncensored version of this bit and the rest of the podcast, make sure to check it out on patreon.com/Nick and Corey,
Yes.
where you can see some of our other content as well.
And remember, if you want to watch this, but also listen to it on Apple Music, Spotify, and Audible and all that stuff, links down below. You can check it out.
Please like and subscribe. It really helps us out getting this podcast off the ground, and ding that notification bell so you can know when we post new content.
And comment your favorite thing that someone has done that's a red flag down below. We'd love to read it.
Your favorite thing that someone has done that's a red flag?
Yeah, your favorite red flag. Which one's your favorite? Which one made you like just the happiest?